Right up front, I just want to say that I'm not going to destroy or ruin Joe Biden's career or his campaign. I'm not even going to address the ongoing dumps of information and allegations and the sex tapes and all the other crazy stuff that's going down. I'm not Rudy Giuliani or Tony Bobolinsky over here. I had this idea a month ago before all of that shit went down. It's just an innocuous video that I'm going to be looking at and telling you about the thoughts I had and that have stuck with me since I found it. So the background, I was doing my totally awesome Biden through the years montage last month. You should definitely check it out. Biden his time. Biding his time. Do you get it? It's a pun. It's just his career set to the Rolling Stones. Time is on my side. Copyright infringement all the way. Anyway, I came across this video. It's Joe Biden in 2005 schmoozing with what I assume are wealthy donors in South Carolina. It's a fundraising event that used to be called the Jefferson Jackson Day, but those two presidents and founding fathers were cancelled in 2017. So in South Carolina now, the dinner is called the Blue Palmetto Dinner. And really, that's a good choice because who could get offended by a palm tree? We all know that Biden had been a senator for a good long while. In 2005, I believe it's up to 33 years at that stage. And in that year, he was a ranking member of the House Foreign Relations Committee, as well as being a member of the Judiciary Committee. We're going to see Hunter Biden in the video as well. So in 2005, for some context, Hunter was a lobbyist for a firm he founded in 2001 called Aldaker, Biden, and Belair. So we have a senator, father, and lobbyist son working the crowd at a Democratic donor dinner. And from that, you might be able to get an idea of what my issue was with the video. Looking at who they're talking to, I don't know who these people are. As I say, I'm assuming that they're donors or connected people. I tried some like Hackerman deep dives, which basically amounted to me taking a snapshot of the video and trying to reverse image search it. And then also from there, when I failed, Googling rich people, South Carolina, famous people, South Carolina. So you might see why I couldn't find any information. Tell me in the comments below if you do know who they are. So yeah, that's all the background and the disclaimer. Let's watch this crazy ordinary video.
That's Hunter. Now this is Naomi, my oldest, or his oldest, but it's mine. This is Finnegan, number 2.
What a genuine moment we've just witnessed. He happens to have a crisp postcard-sized photo of his family in his jacket pocket. What a coincidence. I mean, truly authentic moment. Sharing. Caring. Joe Biden.
And and I don't have a... And my number 1 son, who your dad knows well, Bo Biden.
So I'm a second son. I've heard variations of all of this from time to time. But my number 1 son, the phrase just seems a bit harsh, especially because number 2 son is in earshot. It's a bit iffy.
He just had his first, and she's 6 months old. So I got 4 granddaughters. And guess what? I'm a grandfather. I don't know. It's wonderful.
Oh, and there we have the obligatory Biden physical contact. It must be a new record, 40 seconds into the video, so he really held out for a while. And there's our guy Hunter, awkward on the periphery, waiting to slide into the conversation.
Yeah, that's what we'll do.
Well, Hunter was just telling about his firm in Washington.
Oh, and here's Hunter's chance.
Yeah.
Law firm?
Yeah.
Do you have a card by any chance?
I do. I don't, but I'll give you my...
Well, let me give you my card.
and then I'll get in contact. I gave them all away.
Okay.
Bah, but he ran out of business cards.
Yeah.
Law firm?
Yeah.
Do you have a card by any chance?
I do. I don't.
Oof, look at Biden's face. Disappointed. He's like, you fucking amateur. This isn't what I taught you. Bo would have had business cards. Number 2 son.
But I'll give you my...
Well, let me give you my card.
and then I'll get in contact. I gave them all away.
Hunter making excuses.
Well, that was a wonderful speech. That was Bo who wrote that.
Ooh, Bo Biden wrote Joe's speech, but at least he referenced his sources, so this time we can't accuse Joe of plagiarism. There's that awkward crosstalk that always happens at parties. Oh! Nicely solved, boys. Or how weird are these people just standing in the background? And for that matter, look at this conversation. It's happening surrounded by a film crew with a light probably shining in their faces, and they're just like, bah, 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 my family, bah, 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 oh, business cards. And yeah, no wonder people think politicians are lizard people, because this is so awkward and so weird. It makes me ill looking at it. Politics is so weird.
We have a 23-year-old, and Christopher has always watched the news with us and everything, and it's so nice to see him involved and interested, but he doesn't really know where to go and what to do. So we're sending him to Outward Bound and getting him to kind of be able to reflect.
Initially, when I heard this, I was in hysterics, but I don't want to mock Outward Bound. Seems like they do a lot of good work. I hope, though, that the son is going as a counselor and not as a learning experience. I think it's more for children, in my opinion.
If he ever wants to,
No, we're 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
My father's old territory.
That's what I do tomorrow.
Would you like to have him in my
Head
house?
out.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
No, I mean, it's sincerely.
Thank you.
I'd be delighted.
It might be time. You might be mature enough at that point.
Biden just seems to have offered the son of this lady, I think his name is Chris, what seems like an internship. As I say, it's hard to make out. But I think that I'm pretty confident that's what happened. And I'm sure the son is totally getting it out of merit. That merit being his mother is a connected, probably wealthy Democratic donor. What other qualifications do you need to be an intern for a sitting senator? Ugh. Again, I hate these kind of schmoozing networking events. Probably why I'm sitting alone in the dark commenting on other people's lives from 2005.
But your family looks lovely, and I have met your wife.
No idea what's happening in the background. Can't really make it out. Something about 6 a.m. But Hunter seems to be able to schmooze as well as the big guy can. Link in the description below to the full video. So yeah, check it out if you want to see everything in context without me speaking over it. So yeah, anyway, that's the clip. Nothing illegal, nothing too weird. They didn't shift into their lizard forms or anything like that. Just inane, awkward, at least by my standards, chit-chat in close quarters. But I was struck by how casual it all was and how unethical it seems given the context. I'm not alleging anything illegal is taking place, but what's unethical is that there's a lack in the separation between their two careers. And that makes for really poor optics, at least in my humble opinion. What am I talking about? So the context here that disturbed me is that in 2005, Hunter's working for that lobbying firm that he founded, and they received $1 million. The following year, in 2006, they received $3 million. Who were some of their clients? One of the biggest contributors was Equifax Credit Union, and then there was also the Debt Buyers Association that gave them some cash. Why am I singling these guys out? In 2005, Democrat Joe Biden famously voted for a Republican bill whose stated goal was to reduce bankruptcy abuse, but instead resulted in weakened bankruptcy protection for individuals. And that allowed for student loan debt to follow people even after they filed for bankruptcy. Now, you might not remember that. It's 2020, so a lot of things have happened. But student loan debt was a major issue in the primaries. Warren and Bernie Sanders were hammering Joe Biden on it.
This is a little bit about leadership as well. Joe talked about bankruptcy. Joe, if my memory is correct, you helped write that bankruptcy bill.
I did not.
All right.
That debt stands at $1.6 trillion currently. I don't want to go into too many details on that. That's a whole nother thing. But arguably, Biden supported a bill 15 years ago that facilitated the growth of the crisis we have today. And now he has a great plan to repair that. It will see much of the debt cancelled. Not as much as Bernie and Warren would like, but still quite a bit. So his platform in this regard is like most of his platform. He's trying to fix a problem whose creation he was there for. And it's also interesting, when I say cancelled, it looks like these guys are still going to get paid. So the big financial institutions who process and hold the debt are still going to get paid at taxpayers' expense. Who is being protected here? I don't understand. Who's working for who here? And yeah, that's the context. Again, I'm not alleging that Hunter's money received from these firms led to Biden's vote, but the optics are terrible. And it's a family business, if you want to put it like that. The Bidens, if they were a family of plumbers or bakers or whatever, if Joe Biden was the bestest plumber or baker in the land, his kids are going to benefit from his connections. Their careers are going to have shortcuts. Be the youngest baker to bake a cake for the queen or fix the queen's throne toilet. Obviously, this kind of dynastic development isn't new in US politics. It's undesirable, but it's not something you can easily get rid of without many other unforeseen consequences coming about. And of course, the Trumps have been accused of this kind of unethical and illegal behavior too. But I'm not talking about the Trumps. You can go into all mainstream media and look at that. Joe Biden's campaign and his supporters have told me that he is scandal-free. Basically, he's pure as the driven snow. And if we elect Biden, we're returning to normal. But let's address that last part first. What is normal? Just because Trump isn't tweeting from his golden toilet, things are going to improve. That's what they tell us. I think that if anything, they're going to get worse. Because why? The press will again shift back onto the side of the government. And they'll be simping for the corporate Dems. Remember, these are the people that tell us that Obama was scandal-free. 8 years of presidential politics was scandal-free under Obama. Must be unprecedented in human history. Anyway, I'm far too cynical to believe that Trump's actions are motivated purely by patriotism or altruism. But what he's done is smash the traditional circles of power that have held sway in DC for decades. And he has disrupted the normal way of doing things. And it's chaotic, and it's a bit crazy, and it's, we're all getting fatigued. But I believe ultimately it's a good thing to disrupt that kind of thing from time to time. And in the years to come, if he retains power, he and his cronies will probably go on to refill the swamp that they have claimed to have drained. And they'll refill it with their own flavor of shit and populate it with their own monsters. But that's the future's problem. That's future tardigrade's problem. And I want to deal with the swamp monsters we face today. If you discount this, as I say, innocuous video, and all of Hunter's connections, all the weird stuff that's being dropped now about Jim Biden as well, and a lifetime of Joe Biden gaffes, just run the numbers. What is the probability that Joe Biden is clean? Power corrupts is an axiom for a reason. Even the most righteous person with the best intentions who holds office will face temptation after temptation after temptation, and their integrity will slowly erode. On a long enough timeline, everyone will fall from grace. And Biden's timeline has got to be one of the longest. And now throw in a drug-addicted, what apparently looks like an opportunist for a son. Is Hunter likely to have made some mistakes? What would you do to protect your family, to protect your son, even if they had made terrible mistakes? What could someone as connected as Joe Biden do to protect his family, to safeguard his family? He might have had the best, most wholesome intentions. But again, another axiom. You know the one. You know the thing. So yeah, that's the thoughts I had when I saw the video. You probably hate me now for having listened to that for 15 minutes. The whole political cycle, it's all icky. And it's just like politics has always been, but it's been more in our face these last 4 years, 6 years. And so this kind of video is just a Rorschach test, basically, for which team that you like best. Rhyme. If you're on the Trump train, you probably just see another sign of how corrupt the Biden family is or how corrupt Joe Biden is. And if you're riding with Biden, you'll probably just see how much of a sweet old family man he is. He's got those photos in his pocket, genuine moment. And you probably think I'm a full-bore Nazi for ragging on him and mocking his drug-addicted son. It's a disability, after all, a very serious one. So yeah, see what you want to see. Vote for whoever you want. All I'm asking, all I'm begging, is that we keep our eyes open and please, sweet Lord Recris, don't pretend that our problems are going to go away and going to get better with a 44-year veteran of Beltway politics. And don't ignore the reality that both the red and blue teams seem to be packed full of weirdos and liars. Probably some crazy lizard people who I wouldn't trust to look after even one of my vials of adrenochrome.